Hello kiddos, Mr. Jones here from Taste Media. And this week I decided that I'm going to go ahead and do a science lab with you guys. It's been a while since I've done a science lab, but I really like science as well as math. So today I'm going to merge the two because math and science sort of go hand in hand sometimes. The lab that we're going to do today is a very interesting lab. It will allow you to know and figure out how much sugar you consume when chewing a double bubble piece of bubble gum. Before we even start the lab, the first thing that we're going to do is get us a lab coat. So I have my lab coat on. The next thing I need to make sure I do is I'm going to grab my safety goggles. Put these on. There we go. Now we're getting somewhere. We also need, you're right, a pair of gloves. And today I'm going to use latex gloves because we are going to get a little messy today. So I need to make sure that I put my gloves on. All right, now we're ready to go. We're going to use a scale, as you see. This is an old-timey looking scale. They have some modern-day scales that are more digital, which allows you to put the specimen on the digital scale, and it will tell you the exact digits of the weight in grams of your object. But today we're going to use an older version scale, which is just as good, but you have to know how to do the math. The first thing that I did before anything is I want to make sure that I clean and sanitize my scale. So in order to do that, you don't want to take your disinfectant spray and just spray it right onto the scale. The best way to do this is taking the spray, shaking it up, and spraying it into a paper towel. Because you don't want to spray the disinfectant into the air if possible. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to clean off the top really well so that there's nothing on my scale. The next step consists of looking at the scale and making sure that it's calibrated. In order for you to do that, you'll need to look at the scale pointer, which is at 0. And as you move down to the left, you'll notice that there's another 0 on the other side of the scale. And it's important that your line on the scale side matches up with the 0 line that's on the other end of the scale. Because you want to make sure that you always start with 0. So let's go ahead and look at our specimen. Our specimen, or our object per se, is a piece of double bubble bubble gum. You will want to take off the wrapper, but you don't want to take the wrapper and throw it in the trash just yet. Because I'm actually going to take this wrapper and I'm going to straighten it out and I'm going to place it on my scale. After laying my wrapper on the scale, I still have my piece of bubble gum held securely inside of my glove so it stays somewhat clean. And now I want to look at the measurement of the wrapper. Now as I look at the wrapper, I can tell that my scale is right off, just a little bit off of the 0, as you can see. In order to change that, I will need to make sure that I line up the two lines that's on the scale and on the 0. So I'll have to go over here to the little pin, the arrow, and I'm going to scoot it down the line just a little bit to see how much I can get that line to match up with 0. And as you can tell, I have it very, very close. So looking at just the wrapper, it looks like we're 4 spaces past the 0, which is going to make that 0.40 grams. Therefore, the weight of the wrapper is 0.40 grams. I'm going to go ahead and add a 0 at the end of that 4 so that it'll make it a little bit easier for me to calculate. Our next step is taking our piece of bubble gum and I'm going to lay it on top of the wrapper. And as you can tell, the scale moved up. So again, we're going to need to make sure that we move the little arrow down. So we're going to continue moving the arrow down. And we will write down what we get as we move that line to the 0. So keep on moving, past 2, past 3, past 4, past 5. Oh man, that's quite a bit. Past 6. Almost there. Let's go a little bit further. 6.5. Stop at 7, see what happens. Is this going to be a lucky 7? We got to back it up just a little bit. Wait for it. And I think we're good. We stopped at 6 point. We got 6.5, 6, 7, 8. 6.8. Looks like about 6.8. Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and write that down. So I have the wrapper. And then 6.80 for the wrapper and the gum. And here comes the fun part. Now it's time to extract the sugar from the gum. How do you think we're going to do that? We are going to ingest it or eat the sugar out of the gum. So, I got my gloves. I'm going to take the piece of gum and I'm going to chew. It tastes pretty good. And I'm going to keep chewing the gum until there's no more sugar taste in it. Usually, you don't eat during the lab unless the lab calls for it. I'm getting there. Sugar's starting to disappear. I'm really working my masseter muscle, which is one of the strongest muscles in the body. I almost bit my tongue. Okay, I think I finally chewed out all of the sugar that I possibly can. So now it's time for us to go back to our scale. Okay, now let's see, hold on. That's all the sugar, yeah. All the sugar is pretty much out of the bubble gum. So here comes the nasty part. So I hope you have your gloves ready. So I'm going to go ahead and take the gum out of my mouth. And I'm going to place it onto the wrapper. Now, if I want to, I can go ahead and take off my glove. The proper way of taking off your glove is starting at the wrist part, because I don't want to cross-contaminate anything. And I'm going to pull my glove up and out. And then I'm going to take it and throw it in the trash. So I have a free hand and a glove hand. It's time to weigh our piece of chewed bubble gum. The line has dropped below the 0, so we need to bring the line up to the 0. So we're going to have to backtrack. So let's go back because we've reduced the amount of sugar inside of the bubble gum. So let me keep on going until we bring that line up to 0. So we're down to 2. Oh, let's see here. How's that going to even out? We might have it. We may have it at about 2. So I think a little bit past the 2. Let's see what happens. Ooh, that might be too far. Yep, let's back it up a little bit because we want a perfect measurement. It's about to even out. A little bit behind. Ooh, hopefully that was good. And it looks like we're pretty even right there. So looking at this, I can tell that it is about 2.1 or 2.10. That's what I'm going to document on my sheet and label the gum. But the gum has no sugar in it, or sugar-free gum, and wrapper. But we're not done yet. Because what do we need to take away from the scale? If you guessed the wrapper, you are correct. So I need to take and do the math. So I have the gum and the wrapper at 6.8 grams. I need to take away the wrapper, so that's minus 0.40 grams. Subtract that, 6.80 minus 0.40, and you will have 6.4 grams, which includes the sugar and the gum. The next step, take the sugar-free gum, which is 2.10, and take it away from the sugar and gum, which was the one that I bought, which is 6.40. Subtract those two, you get 4.3 grams of sugar that we extracted from the gum. 4.3 grams is the amount of sugar that you would consume when chewing all of the sugar out of a piece of double bubble gum. Make sure you clean everything up and make it nice and clean. So in order to take this gum and dispose of it, I would take my other hand that has the glove on it, and I would go ahead and grab the wrapper and the gum, fold it up into my palm, and then pull the glove off from the wrist, and therefore you have your piece of bubble gum nice and secured, ready to be thrown in the trash. So put it in the trash, throw away all of the other trash that you may have on your lab station. Go ahead and put your supplies up like you're supposed to. Take your notebook, put that up along with your pencil, and you can grab your scale and put it back on the shelf. So I hope you had a great day. I hope you learned something fun and exciting, and I hope to see you again next week. Now, where do these classes go in this lab coat? Oh, they go in here in the closet.